Okay. Please say 3 times together. Sadhu,
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 sadhu.
sadhu.
So good evening to everyone. Please wait for me. So good evening to everyone. As usual, today is the 22nd day of our meditation sessions. So today's 20th May 2022. On this day too, we are not going to let this day go waste. We are going to use this wonderful day too to progress in the Dhamma path, right? So there are two kinds of researches that human beings do. We do researches, right? So there are two kinds of researches that human beings do. So first research is anariya pariyesana. That means research for temporary happiness. Research for temporary happiness. And then there is another research that people do. Research for permanent happiness. So there are such kind of two researches in this world. So, but in our lives, mostly we dedicate our time for the anariya research. That means the unknoble research. That means the research to find temporary happinesses. So the people that is the nature of our defilements too. So we run after various kinds of things that can bring us temporary happiness, right? Just like wealth, just like property, and then after that fame. Some people go after fame and such kind of research. So in those journeys, people gain happiness, but all those happinesses, they always stay temporary, because those happinesses they are bound to change. They are in the circle of vicissitudes. That means they come, they go. So whenever they come, you feel comfortable and happy, but it's temporary. They are bound to go too. So there are people who become famous because of a certain kind of reason. And then what happens? A scandal happens. Then what happens? Defame, right? The other people, they start to criticize, and you feel into depression if you are not mentally strong, right? So wealth, people dedicate a lot of time to have wealth. That's good. Wealth is important for a layperson, especially. So to survive, you need wealth. But if you go extreme, then what will happen is, there are times that you gain. At such times you gain temporary happiness. But finally what happens is, when you lose them, you will go into depression, stress, right? No happiness anymore. And then third, property. So property, same thing. When you gain those things, property means there are mobile properties, at the same time still properties. So houses are still properties. You can't move them. Mobile properties, your car, your purse, and your dresses, they are mobile properties. So whatever they are. So those properties, when you gain, you feel happy. But after some time, you lose interest too, right? Sometimes you lose them. Then what happens? You feel unhappy. That is the nature of anariya pariyesana. That means the the results of the research for temporary happiness. Then there is this other research, which is called as Arya Pariyesana, which was highly praised by the Buddha. Even though you have those material things or not, still you can have a happiness. But this happiness is hard to gain. That is that's something which we need to keep in mind. An important fact. It's hard to gain, but the more we nourish them, that happiness stays longer. If you nourish them well, that happiness stays throughout the life. Throughout the life. So if you become enlightened, the happiness is totally temporary throughout the life. And at the same time, if someone couldn't attain the enlightenment, still gained the happiness. So certain stage of happiness. So then it stays for many other lives too, right? So somehow you gain that ultimate happiness, and it stays throughout the life. So Arya Pariyesana is rare. So those who practice that pariyas, those who practice to gain to do this research is rare, but as human beings we should do the second one. Wise people always should do second one, because this is just like the so Anariya Pariyesana is just like the blind person's experience. So blind person cannot see. You give that person a stone and you tell that person, oh, this is a gem. If that person believes, what happens? That worthless stone, he will do everything to keep it safe, keep it with him or her. And whoever comes to take it, that person will fight, right? And quarrel. So, and those who will say that, so if that person believes that it's really a gem, and if the other people try to explain that this is not a gem, this is a stone, that person will get angry at those people, right? And that person will say, oh, you guys are jealous. You are jealous because I have a gem. This is a gem, this is not a stone, right? So this is there. So then so you give that person a gem, and if you say this is a stone, so even though it's a gem, that person won't safeguard that. He'll throw that one away somewhere to a corner and will not take care of it. So when we are doing the Anariya Pariyesana, that means the research for temporary happiness, we are just like that. When we addict to it, we don't open eyes. We don't open eyes of wisdom to practice Arya Pariyesana, right? So then we don't wisely consider, and then what will happen is, without understanding the nature of things, we will get addicted to it, and we will stay the same until the end of our lives, and we'll die without gaining the best benefit that we can gain by this human life. So as wise human beings, we always should do second pariyesana, that second research, that means Arya Pariyesana. The quest, the research to gain the ultimate happiness, right? So you have started the process. You have started the process. Be happy. And as I mentioned, please develop the courage. Develop the courage to continue. And finally, try to develop the courage to continue until you reach the final goal. That's very, very important. So we are going to keep another step of forward in Arya Paryasana noble research one today too. So we are practicing Vipassana meditation, and we started the first step. So first of all, we started practicing Anapanasati meditation. By that way, we could develop the concentration. That very concentration we are here using to know about the real nature of our body and mind. That is Vipassana. So we means special. Passana means sight. Or Vipassana means special sight. In other words, that means seeing the things as they really are, not according to the way how they appear to be. That's what you are practicing. So we started observing if there is any new meditator, they are again asked to practice breathing meditation, first step of breathing meditation. And the other meditators, they are asked to practice Vipassana, all students. So if I mention again the practice, so you have to start from the top of your head. Then after whatever the sensations that you can observe in this area, you observe them, and you recognize any sensation that you can feel within that area, and you remind yourself that that sensation is impermanent. And then after that, you will focus the front portion, and you will focus on your front portion. Then you will focus on your back portion, then right ear, left ear, then forehead. Then after that, so right eyebrow, left eyebrow, then eyelids, then nose. So today, I mentioned this in the last week too. Please observe the other parts too, up to the chin. So after observing the sensations on your nose, then start observing the sensations on your upper lip. Then after that, please observe the sensations on your right cheek, then left cheek, lower lip, and chin. Right? When you are done observing the chin, restart again from the top of your head. Don't stay too long in one area. So don't crave for any sensation. You are not competing with anybody else. You have your own improvements. So there is a pace that you will improve. So very patiently. So try to develop your own sensitivity. Right? Don't compare your abilities with the other people. So always try to be you, accept your abilities as your abilities, and keep on practicing, keep on improving, keep on progressing in your own pace, right? So if you feel like someone has moved forward, then don't feel jealous, because those people's are their practices and your practices are different, right? Their experiences, their karmic abilities, everything different. So don't feel jealous. Don't share your experiences too, even though how close you are to each other. Now, most of you know each other. So don't share your experiences, and Keep on practicing very ardently, according to your own pace, and understanding the technique properly. Okay? Now, please keep your back straight, neck straight, and head straight. Please keep your right palm on your left palm. Let your whole body to relax. Let your whole body to relax. First of all, I will pay respect to the Buddha, to the Dhamma, and to the Sangha, thinking about their noble qualities and with gratitude. And after that, we are going to start today's meditation session. Everyone, please pay attention very attentively, very calmly, with a very relaxed mind. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Itimeso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho viññācarana sampanno sugato lokamido anuttaro purisa dhammasarati sattādeva manussanam muddho bhagavati Swakato bhagavata dhammo sannitiko akaliko ehi pasiko opanaiko pachatang veditammo viññohiti supanipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Uju patipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Nyāya patipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Sāmike patipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Yadidang cattari purisa yugani Atte purisa puggala Ese bhagavato sāvaka sangho Ahuneyo pahuneyo Dakineyo anjali karaniyo Anuttarang puñakhetang lokasati Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. With a very calm mind, with a very quiet mind, with a very alert, very attentive mind, balanced and equanimous mind. Everyone, please start your meditation. If you are a new meditator, please observe the breath. First step of breathing. First step of breathing meditation. When the breath is coming in, be fully aware. When the breath is going out, be fully aware. If the breath is gross, if the breath is soft, if the breath is long, if the breath is short, know accordingly. Be aware accordingly. Be with the present experience of your breath. Don't think about the past ones. Don't compare the present breath with the past ones. And don't expect anything any kind of a particular breath. Don't favor any. Just keep on being aware about the current breath that you're experiencing. And keep on practicing breathing meditation, new meditators. All students, please start first step of Vipassana meditation. Keep on observing all the areas, starting from the top of your head to the area of your chin. Whatever the sensations that arise within those areas, let it be hardness, softness, pain, itching sensation, twinkling sensation, blood circulating, vibrating, or any sensation, or pinching sensation, let it be any. Just try to focus on real sensations that you can observe within those areas. Don't imagine any. And whenever you could observe one, please remind yourself, this sensation is changing, impermanent, impermanent, impermanent. Keep on observing the sensations from top of your head to the chin area. Now everyone, please start your meditation. May your meditation be very successful. Please start it right now. Now, new meditators can change their posture, but all students, they are asked to stay the same. We are going to practice breathing meditation in brief. Now, first of all, let your whole body to relax. Let your whole body to relax. First of all, let's spread our loving kindness towards ourselves. May I be well. May I be happy. May I be peaceful, very peaceful. Spread loving kindness towards yourself. Just like me, may my mother, may my father, may my relatives, teachers, and friends be well, be happy, be peaceful. Please spread loving kindness towards them too, towards your parents, teachers, relatives, and friends. Now let's spread our loving kindness. Let's share our loving kindness with the people in the middle who are not your enemies, who are not your friends too, the neutral people. May all the people in the middle be well, be happy, be peaceful. May they be very peaceful. Now let's think about our enemies. May our enemies also accept my loving kindness. I share my loving kindness with my enemies. Whatever the mistakes they did, I forgive them. Whatever the mistakes I did towards them, I ask forgiveness. May my enemies also be well. May my enemies also be happy. May my enemies also be peaceful, very peaceful. Now let's think about all the beings in the whole universe. Regardless of their differences, I share my loving kindness with all the beings in the universe. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be very peaceful. Very peaceful. Let's spread our loving kindness with all the beings. All the beings. Now everyone, very peacefully, very calmly and slowly, please open your eyes. Please open your eyes. And now, you can ease your posture if you like. And now, please join your both palms together. And please say 3 times, Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu. So, dear Dhamma friends, hope all of you feel the sensations. So, these sensations are there all the time. If you don't feel them, that means still your sensibility has not developed that means properly. But please practice very patiently. Please practice very patiently. Little by little, you will improve. Little by little, you will be sensible. Patience is very, very focus, and patience is very important. The attention, the ability to feel, it automatically develops if you keep these 2 things together, right? So, so very patiently, right? You have to give your focus, and then so you should exclude all the other things from the mind. You should not think what you are going to eat after the meditation session, right? You should not think what happened today at your office, right? You should not think about your future plans, and this is not the time to plan your future, right? So you have to focus here and now. Whatever sensation that you feel, so you will feel it whenever you give your focus patiently. And then at the same time, so give your focus very patiently, and at the same time, so please understand, this is the very way that the other people feel too. That means they can't have the same experience, but they also have these kinds of this very nature. So your nature and their nature, they are not different. Impermanence in everybody it's not difference. So all of us do have these impermanence, right? And all the fate of all sensations that we feel, so they have no difference. So the fate of all sensations of all of us, they are the same. All of them. Maybe for now, in my forehead area, I'll feel hardness. Another person will feel softness. Another person will feel pain. Another person will feel blood circulating sensation. Another person will feel pulsing sensation. Whatever it is, they have one common characteristic. They are bound to change. Whatever the sensations they are bound to change. All of us are beings with the nature of impermanence. Whenever you start to realize this, automatically you start to respect the other people with equality. You start to respect. So earlier, even if you had some kind of discriminating feeling, it's going. You feel, oh, right, the whole world is a common field. Common field. So nobody is high, nobody is low. As beings, we are the same. Let we have white skin, brown skin, yellow skin, whatever it is, we are the same. Same beings. So you will realize this. And at the same time, try to observe objectively. Objectively means, so just like you look at something outside, when you observe, don't think, oh, I'm focusing on my head area. You observe head area. So there is no any mind here. What you are doing is, you are just observing objectively. Just like you look at something else outside, right? If not, what will happen? You won't be able to focus properly. So just observe objectively, just like you look at something else. So I look at that plug. I don't feel that plug is part of my body. It's separate. It just, your focus should be like that. And so that's important too. Then you'll be able to develop more balance of mind, equanimity, balance of mind. Right? Please practice like that. Today I'm going to teach you about impermanence. So, human beings have two experiences. How many experiences? Two experiences. One is, according to Buddha, one is experience of consciousness. Experience of consciousness means whatever it comes comes in front of you. You observe. Let's say a picture, a figure comes, right? A form. You observe it. That is experience of consciousness. A sound comes. Experience of consciousness. You just observe it. And a taste comes. You observe. Experience of consciousness. A smell comes. Experience of consciousness. A feeling. Experience of consciousness. A thought comes. Experience of consciousness. So this is the experience of consciousness. There is one kind of experience that we all have. Even the animals have this ability, this experience of consciousness. And there is another consciousness, another experience of wisdom. Animals don't have this. For an example, small story. One dog found a piece of meat. So piece of meat, and it thought its home was its home was situated in the other side of a river. So it thought it'll go home and then it'll eat this piece of meat. So what it did, it took the piece of meat, and it started going towards its home. And when it was walking on the bridge, so old days, they didn't have these huge bridges. They had only these small bridges, right? So it saw another dog with a piece of meat, on the water, right? Then what happened? It thought, oh, right, I already have one piece of meat. I want that piece of meat too. So what it did, it jumped to the water to get that piece of meat, the other piece of meat. Then what happened? So it lost its own piece of meat too. It could save its life because it could swim, but it lost its own piece of meat. So their experience is like that. They only have the experience of consciousness. They don't have the experience of wisdom. Let's say you go to a mirror. You go to a mirror and you see yourself. And then at such times, you are not, you don't look at just like you see someone else, right? You understand it's your own form that you see, your own reflection. A dog or a cat goes to the very mirror and it sees itself. What happens? It starts to fight. It starts to growl. Why? They don't have the experience of wisdom. Even for human beings, so we have to develop. So naturally, we don't have experience of wisdom. We have to develop. We have to develop it. So impermanence can be seen only if you develop experience of wisdom. Experience of wisdom. So impermanence, so from outside you can't see it at once. Let's say you have this bulb. It has electricity. We think, oh, bulb is always there, right? It's not impermanent. Then, but at the end of the month, you will get the electricity bill, even though you can't see. So electricity, so very fast, the electricity is coming and going, rising and passing away. So that's why you will get a bill at the end of the month. So, but if you watch towards it, if you look at it with the experience of consciousness, you don't understand that. Only you will understand it when you look at it with the experience of wisdom. Did you understand, Mr. Arjun? Yes. So, this whole body and mind, they are changing. Both are changing very fast. But if you don't have the experience of wisdom, you can't realize this. So, for now, you will only experience it like this. That is also good too, right? Let's say on the top of your head area, you observe. One time you observe, and you'll feel hardness. And you go, after coming to the chin area, you stop, and you'll go once again to observe that very area. Now you feel softness has, so that previous sensation has gone. Now I feel pulsing sensation. Pulsing sensation is high. And after a while, then again you go to the very same area and observe after another round, and you feel pinching sensations. So just like pinching. So such kind of sensation. So now you understand, oh, inside my own body, always it's changing. But still you don't understand how actually it is changing, but you just observe from the gross level, I would say. Still, it is not the actual experience of impermanence. So then later on, don't expect these things to happen at once. Later, gradually, sometimes you will experience, sometimes you won't. These sensations, when your sensitivity grows, what will happen? These sensations gradually, they'll disappear. They'll disappear means they don't disappear. They are there. So then you gain the ability to observe them deep. Then you won't say, oh, in this area I have this sensation or that sensation. You will only see flux of vibrations. Flux of vibrations from top to bottom. Just like a river flows, vibrations come, vibrations go, vibrations come, vibrations go. From top to bottom. That's how the body exists. But when you go deeper, then there are many other truths that you will discover somehow. So this is how the body is. You can't say this with the experience of consciousness. Only by the experience of wisdom, you can say this. Mind. So later on, you will develop the ability to observe the mind too. The more patient you grow, the more calmness you grow inside, you will observe your emotions. And then you will understand emotions come and go too, very fast. But you are thinking right now, within several seconds, you start to think about something else. And after another several seconds, you start to think about something else. Oh, you feel ashamed of yourself. What kind of a monkey mind I do have, right? You feel ashamed of yourself. But that's how you were. Now, good, you started to practice Vipassana, and you have observed that. But this is how you were earlier too. You thought you were a very calm person, very serene person. But this was the nature, inside nature that you had. Right. Both are changed. So, and at the same time, we need to understand impermanence is happening. So, within all 6 faculties, we have 6 faculties: eye faculty, ear faculty, nose faculty, tongue faculty, body faculty, and mind faculty. So, when so I am not going to teach you deep biochemical teachings of the Buddha. Then this time won't be enough. Just let me tell you. So many reasons joining together, you gain the experience. For an example, so there should be an object. You should have the ability to see, and on your eyes should be eyes should be healthy. Not only that, your body should have the life, right? And at the same time, so if those things are there, and when the form comes to the front of you, then these things touch, and then there arises eye consciousness. Please understand, when you see, you can't hear. When you hear, you can't see. That is the truth. But we think, throughout our life, we think, oh, when I see, at the same time I hear. So so sometimes you eat while watching the TV, right? You think at the very same time you are watching, you are hearing, you are tasting. But you are deceiving yourself. Actually, when you're watching, you didn't feel the taste. And you didn't hear anything. And when you were hearing, at such times you didn't see. And when you were eating, when you're feeling the taste, you couldn't see, you couldn't hear. But my experience is not like that. You might argue. But the truth is, this process is happening super fast. Super fast. That's why you couldn't notice that. So they were changing very, very fast. And these experiences of faculties too, when they were happening, so the sound was changing. So let's say you were hearing the sound was changing too. And at the same time, when you observing the sound, you had your ear was changing too. And when they met together, right, held the ear, held the sound, when they met together, I told you, there arose ear consciousness. Ear consciousness was changing to super fast. You didn't realize? So, but when they were changing, so I don't know whether you could understand. When they were changing, so the one which arose earlier in the past moment, it was not. It is not at this moment, and that very one, it won't be in the next moment, right? This is the impermanence which is happening within our body and mind. Within our body and mind, things change super fast. But since we don't see, we think, oh, Bante Chandima, who was born to this world, he is here right now. He has not changed. So whenever somebody tells something against me, I get angry. Oh, Bante Chandima, he is a so great person, very serene person, very there is no one who is greater than me. Then you feel angry, right? When someone or someone has more qualities, more abilities, more things than you get jealous. Oh, right? And whenever so whenever you gain things, you gain praises, and when you gain fame, when you gain stuff, and so material things, immaterial things, you become so happy. Oh, I gain it. This Bhante Chandima, he's the one who is gaining. But when you realize that everything is changing, when you gain things, you stay the same. When you lose things, inside, it stays the same. Whatever it happens, whatever the other people do, you don't get angry. You feel relaxed. You always stay relaxed. You always stay calm. And at the same time, whenever the other people come to you, you only give them compassion, loving kindness, peace, pity, and help. That's it. And that also you do without expecting anything in return. So you go to that level. Whenever you start to experience the original impermanence, right? So, so if you don't understand the impermanence, what happens is you think you are permanent. There is actually this, let's say, Sanjana. There is a person called Sanjana. Sanjana thinks that throughout her life there is Sanjana. So when someone says something to Sanjana, she gets angry. So this happens. So even though you don't understand, throughout your life, every day, every hour, every minute, this was going on. Whenever uncomfortable. So you can't escape until you are living. You can't escape from experience. Each and every moment experiences are there. And if you, so without understanding the impermanence, if you have this notion of permanence, I am permanent, there is I all the time, then what happens? You develop a lot of negativity, a lot of grudges towards those experiences. Then you are not happy. You are not happy. Throughout the life, most of the times, we develop stress because of that. So whenever we understand this nature with our own experience, first-hand experience, then we let those negativities go. And then that stress, those negativities, they go away. You will live a wonderful life with peace, happiness, kindness, compassion, and love. Whoever the person that you meet, so whatever the things that person has done, you will be able to love that person. You will be able to forgive. And at the same time, you will be able to do things. So sometimes there might have been tasks that you might have thought, oh, they are gigantic stuff. I cannot do those. But when you understand this, so you gain such kind of a might, such kind of strength that you think it's a simple thing. So those are small advantages that you get. So somehow the greatest advantage is you will be able to develop a lot of love, compassion, happiness, and peace, right? And you will gain that eternal peace. And then finally, so you will live a wonderful life. Let me end the teaching explanation with the story that was told by one of my teachers, Vipassana teachers, Goenkaji. Here, so if you go to his courses later on, I will send you. Later on, then you will be able to hear this story. Once there were two brothers. Their father was a wise person. He passed away. When he passed away, this is an Indian story. According to the tradition, the, uh, all the property that parents do have, they have to partition them and they have to distribute, not only India, so whole Asia. So they have to partition those things, we should we should share them among the siblings, among the children equally. So only two brothers. He partitioned everything, and then share at his last will. He shared everything with those two brothers. The elder brother was one with a lot of. He was a mindset. He wanted more stuff, so he was checking. So the whole house, their ancient home, he was checking every nook and corner of the house to find something else that father couldn't give him. Then, so below his father's deathbed, there was a small box. He could finally find it. At the very same time, his younger brother also came. Now, what to do? He had to open the box in front of his younger brother. He opened it, and then there were two rings. One ring was a silver ring. The other ring was a diamond ring. The elder brother thought, I will keep this diamond ring somehow. He told, brother, I think this diamond ring, it is coming down from my generation. So I am the elder brother. I will keep the diamond ring. And since you are the youngest, your younger brother, you have to keep the silver ring. So younger brother, he was a peaceful person. He was not a miser. He said, that's fine. So both of them, they wore these two rings. And the elder brother, he was always looking at this diamond ring. And whenever he was looking at the diamond ring, he was praising himself. He was developing praise. Oh, my beautiful diamond ring. Oh, diamond ring. Nice ring. Great ring. He was showing it to his friends and relatives too. See, do you see my diamond ring? It's a very, very expensive one. I got it from our father. So unintentionally, what happened? He was developing craving too. He was developing a lot of craving. Sometimes good time, so they were farmers. Sometimes you gain good crops. Sometimes some of the seasons you don't get good crops. So whenever he get good crops, he sold them. And then he threw parties. He didn't save any money. And he kept on dancing and drinking and doing all those kinds of stuff. And during the other season, so in our countries, we don't get a good crop. During such times, he was very sad. His face was hanging. He was always sorrowful and frustrated. He was in depression. Then what happened? After several years, he had a lot of, because of this mental ups and downs, soon he got a lot of sicknesses like high blood pressure and diabetics and many other things. Finally, he became paralyzed and he was on a bed. With remorse. And the other younger brother, he took the silver ring. He remembered that throughout his life, father only wore the silver ring. He never wore the diamond. Then he thought, why this silver ring, what this silver ring is doing with the diamond ring. He checked the whole silver ring and found a cow sentence. In Hindi, it said, ये तो मचल जाता है, ये तो बदल जाता है. This will also change. So for him too, there were good times, there were bad times. But whenever good times come, he was so happy. But he looked at the silver ring and remembered himself, advised himself that this is also bound to change. And he said he threw parties, but he didn't overspend. He saved money for bad times. And during the bad times, he was not sad. He kept the balance of mind. He thought himself, he looked at the silver ring. This bad time also goes away. Let me use the saved money and let me handle this time. This is also bound to change. Good crops are bound to come. Then all throughout his life, he could maintain a calm mindset, a peaceful mindset because of the silver ring. We also should have a silver ring, not on your finger, but inside your mind. That should be this message. With this message, that is, this is also impermanent. Whatever the experiences that you have in your life, let it be good, let it be bad, they also have the same characteristic, impermanence. So, please, so we are gradually trying to understand it with our experience of wisdom. And whenever, the more you realize, the more you develop peace. The more you develop happiness, it is not a temporary happiness, temporary peace. Gradually you are developing an eternal peace, eternal happiness. Please practice very ardently. Now please think all of us practiced today and accumulated a lot of positive energy. We share all this positive energy with all the divine beings, our departed relatives, and among all of us. May we be able to come out of all our difficulties. May we be able to develop all the positivities and completely eradicating all the negativities. May all of us be able to attain real peace, real happiness, purification of mind, Nibbana. With those thoughts, everyone, please concentrate. Abhivadana senisse niccang baddha pacayino chattaro dhamma vaddanti ayuvanno sukhang balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevache ato nibbana sampatti Iminati samijjato. May you all be well. May you all be happy. May you all be very, very peaceful. 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 Sukhi hotu. Good night to everyone. May you be happy. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, Mrs. Sands.
Good night, sir. Thank you so much, Bhante.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good night, Mrs. Liz. Good night, Mr. Frank.
Thank you, Bhante.
May you be happy. Right. Good night, Mr. Juan.
Good night, Bhante.